Hey everybody, and welcome to Gaming with Drewski. I'm here today to show you a way to pretty much win, or at least come in the top 2 to 3 every single time that you're able to execute each phase of this strategy. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here in the video. Let me just pause that real quick. I was just buying back a teammate. Alright, so phase 1. First off, the goal is to land somewhere near a helicopter. It just makes it easier. You don't have to, but it makes it easier for you to do the rest of the strategy. My go-to spot is security area. Typically not a lot of people, usually 1 or 2 teams at most, and there's a bunch of loot. You can get everything, get ready to go for the rest of the phases, and really put yourself in a good position to win the game right at the beginning. So that's phase 1, is prep. Phase 2 is also prep. There's 4 specific things that you need to get. Number 1 is a gas mask. Number 2 is a cluster strike. Number 3 is at least have full armor. If you can get a satchel, an armor satchel, that's ideal, but you don't need one. And number 4 is to have at least $4,000 in the case that you need to buy back a teammate. Ideally, if you can get 8 to 12,000. That's in a perfect world. If you can get 12, that's fantastic. Buy everybody back if everybody goes down. So that's phase 1 and 2. They're both preparatory. Phase 3 is the time where you actually get the helicopter. So usually I would recommend that you have, if you're playing quads, have your one of your top 2 players hop in the helicopter. Just because at the end it gets a little hairy and you're on your own, so it's better to have somebody that's a little more skilled. And then the other teammates, the other 3, it's best advised if they stay together. So have all 3 stay together, move in as a unit, and move into houses. That's what I would recommend. You can do whatever you want, but that's what I recommend. If you can, if you're feeling confident and it works out, if there's a tower nearby, have 1 player up in the tower and the other 2 nearby, so that if the other 2 get overwhelmed, the other player that's by themselves can get picked up by the helicopter without drawing too much attention and too much downtime for the helicopter. So that's your first 3 phases right there. Phase 4 and 5 is where it gets juicy. You know, that's where everything kind of comes together. So phase 4, if you've had any teammates die on your way to the final circle, you want to land near a buy station, get them really quick. Which I'm going to do right now, as you can see in the game. I'm going to get back my teammate who is soapy titties for $4,000. Mind you, I did play this match with 3 random people. I don't know them at all, and it still worked out pretty well. So you can use the strategy with random people or your friends. So I'm going to buy him back as we approach the end game here. And so I'm going to click that. We can get the visual footage going. So I'm back in the helicopter. I'm going to fly around, try not to draw too much attention. As the circle gets smaller, it works out better for you because you can hide easier in the gas and they can't see you. If you stay far away, people are distracted. They're not focused on what's way up above. Plus there's other teams moving in on each other, so it creates some friction. So right here, this is where I got the idea for the towers. This is by accident. My teammate, who I didn't coordinate with, I was trying to get him to jump in, but he took too long, so I had to leave because I was getting shot at. And but I think that would have been a great move if he jumped in with me, because as you'll see, he would have made it to the final circle with me. So right now, I only have 1 teammate left, and he's about to die pretty soon. So I get shot at a bunch. I can fast forward. I'm just floating around here. So I did land right next to him. My teammate's on the roof. Just check the box. This wasn't really recommended. I probably should have just kept flying, but I just want to get some supplies. My teammate's there. Why not? Back up in the air. My teammate's there. I'm getting shot at. I'm trying to get out of sight. So as you can see here, I think my teammate, he jumps. I'm still getting shot at. I'm almost at the point where I have to jump out. So all the first 4 phases are done. We're in the final circle. This is phase 5. You know, this is everything that you've prepared for. this is why you want somebody that's decent in the helicopter. So the goal here, in end of phase 4, beginning of phase 5, is you want to put yourself in a position where you can land on like a building, which I'm about to do here, a place that is elevated geographically, so that you have a vantage point on the people below you. And there's that cluster strike. It's so important because the final circle is small and you can cluster most of it. So right here, I downed 2 of them with that cluster strike. And I couldn't find the third guy at first. And I think he might even shoot at me right here. And I'm looking, a little panicky, and then boom. I got kind of lucky there. He was in the gas. My aim was atrocious, but it all worked out because of all the planning ahead of time. So even if you're an average gamer, if you plan and have a strategy going into it, this works. The only reason why I even kind of stumbled across this strategy was I was doing a duos match before this match, and my teammate, he had to leave. I think he went to go walk his dog or something, he said. So I was by myself. So I thought, how can I survive and try to keep my teammate coming back and responding? So I hopped in the helicopter, flew around a bunch, and then as we got to the end game, the same thing happened. I was still in the air. I dropped down, I had all the supplies, and I ended up winning the game. And by doing this, I won 3 games in a row. After that, we started doing some other strategies, but if you can do this and follow the steps, then you're basically guaranteed to be at the end game, top 3. If you are talented, then you're probably going to win the whole thing almost every single time. But anyways, that's my take. Try it out, let me know how it goes, and we can fine tune it and see if we can make some good changes. Please like and subscribe. Alright, so really quickly before we wrap up, the 5 phases in order. Number 1, you're going to land near a helicopter, hit the bounties if you can, as many as possible, grab as much loot as you can. My go-to area is security area. You can pick wherever you like. Phase 2, get your endgame supplies, those 4 items that I named earlier. Armor, cluster strike, things like that. Phase 3, you want to fly. Pick who's going to be flying. Fly around, have your teammates infiltrate buildings, towers, etc. Phase 4 is the end game, or the end game beginning, where you're going to be getting closer, hiding up in the clouds there in the gas. You're going to jump to a point that's elevated, either a tower or the top of a building, so that you have a nice strategic location to launch your cluster strike from without getting killed. And then phase 5 is pretty much roll the dice. It all comes down to how you are as a player. But at least you've put yourself in a good position. Hopefully everybody's dead already from the cluster strike, but if not, you have all the advantage, and hopefully you're going to win most of the time. So once again, like and subscribe, Gaming with Drewski, and I'll talk to you again soon.